I'm going to read on this episode 1000 True Fans by Kevin Kelly. This is an essay that is very popular among entrepreneurs, among creators, among artists. It's talked about often. I've been meaning to read it myself. I haven't gotten around to it. And I said, why don't I just do that on the podcast? So I'm going to read it. This is famous and beloved among successful entrepreneurs and creators. And if you haven't read it in a while, or even if you have, I have no doubt it will be useful to listen to again. I'm going to start. 1000 True Fans by Kevin Kelly. This is an edited, updated version of an essay I wrote in 2008 when this now popular idea was embryonic and ragged. I recently rewrote it to convey the core ideas minus out-of-date details. This revisited essay appears in Tim Ferriss's new book, Tools of Titans. I believe the 1000 True Fans concept will be useful to anybody making things or making things happen. That's so good. If you still want to read the much longer original 2008 essay, you can get it after the end of this version. So I'm going to read this updated version, not the longer one. I'm going to read the updated one. To be a successful creator, you don't need millions. You don't need millions of dollars or millions of customers, millions of clients, or millions of fans. To make a living as a craftsperson, photographer, musician, designer, author, animator, app maker, entrepreneur, or inventor, you need only thousands of true fans. A true fan is defined as a fan that will buy anything you produce. These diehard fans will drive 200 miles to see you sing. They will buy the hardback and paperback and Audible versions of your book. They will purchase your next figurine sight unseen. They will pay for the best of DVD version of your free YouTube channel. They will come to your chef's table once a month. If you have roughly 1,000 true fans like this, also known as super fans, you can make a living. If you are content to make a living but not a fortune. Here's how the math works. You need to meet two criteria. First, you have to create enough each year that you can earn, on average, $100 profit from each true fan. That is easier to do in some arts and businesses than others, but it is a good creative challenge in every area because it is always easier and better to give your existing customers more than it is to find new fans. Second, you must have a direct relationship with your fans. That is, they must pay you directly. You get to keep all of their support, unlike the small percent of their fees you might get from a music label, publisher, studio, retailer, or other intermediate. If you keep the full $100 of each fan, then you need only 1,000 of them to earn $100,000 per year. That's a living for most folks. 1,000 customers is a whole lot more feasible to aim for than 1,000,000 fans. Millions of paying fans is not a realistic goal to shoot for, especially when you are starting out. But 1,000 fans is doable. You might even be able to remember 1,000 names. If you added one new true fan per day, it'd only take a few years to gain 1,000. The number 1,000 is not absolute. Its significance is in its rough order of magnitude. 3 orders less than 1,000,000. The actual number has to be adjusted for each person. If you are able to earn only $50 per year per true fan, then you need 2,000. Likewise, if you can sell $200 per year, you need only 500 true fans. Or you may need only $75,000 per year to live on, so you adjust downward. Or if you are a duet or have a partner, then you need to multiply by 2 to get 2,000 fans. For a team, you need to multiply further. But the good news is that the increase in the size of your true fan base is geometric and linear in proportion to the size of the team. If you increase the team by 33%, you only need to increase your fan base by 33%. Another way to calculate the support of a true fan is to aim to get 1 day's wages per year from them. Can you excite or please them sufficient to earn 1 day's labor? That's a high bar, but not impossible for 1,000 people worldwide. And of course, not every fan will be super. While the support of 1,000 true fans may be sufficient for a living, for every single true fan, you might have 2 or 3 regular fans. Think of concentric circles with true fans at the center and a wider circle of regular fans around them. These regular fans may buy your creations occasionally or may have bought only once, but their ordinary purchases expand your total income. Perhaps they bring an additional 50%. Still, you want to focus on the super fans because the enthusiasm of true fans can increase the patronage of regular fans. True fans not only, I love this, true fans not only are the direct source of your income, but also your chief marketing force for the ordinary fans. He's saying, don't just strive. I mean, strive for 1,000, but when you get those 1,000 true fans, that's going to mean a lot more than just 1,000 fans. That's going to mean a lot. It's going to be a lot more lucrative than you think. That's what a lot of people don't realize, is that when you actually hit, it's called critical mass. When you get to 1,000 true fans, it's critical mass. And then you start growing and growing and growing. Fans, customers, patrons have been around forever. What's new here? A couple of things. While direct relationship with customers was the default multiple times, the benefits of modern retailing meant that most creators in the last century did not have direct contact with consumers. Often, even the publishers, studios, labels, and manufacturers did not have such crucial information as the name of their customers. For instance, despite being in the business for hundreds of years, no New York book publisher knew the names of their core and dedicated readers. For previous creators, these intermediates, and there was often more than one, meant you need much larger audiences to have a success. With the advent of ubiquitous peer-to-peer communication and payment systems, also known as the internet, today everyone has access to excellent tools that allow anyone to sell directly to anyone else in the world. So a creator in Bend, Oregon can sell and deliver a song to someone in Kathmandu, Nepal as easily as a New York record label, maybe even more easily. This technology permits creators to maintain relationships so that the customer can become, remember, this was written in 2008, so that the customer can become a fan, and so the creator keeps the total amount of payment, which reduces the number of fans needed. This new ability for the creator to retain the full price is revolutionary, but a second technological, this is by the way why you should always build an email list and own your emails. This is why you should have your emails. This new ability for the creator to retain the full price is revolutionary, but a second technological innovation amplifies that further. A fundamental virtue of peer-to-peer network like the web is that the most obscure node is only one click away from the most popular node. In other words, the most obscure underselling book, song, idea is only one click away from the best-selling book, song, or idea. Early in the rise of the web, the large aggregators of content and products such as eBay, Amazon, Netflix, etc. noticed that the total sales of all the lowest selling obscure items would equal or in some cases exceed the sales of the few best-selling items. Chris Anderson, my successor at Wired, named this effect the long tail for the visually graphed shape of the sales distribution curve, a low, nearly interminable line of items selling only a few copies per year that form a long tail for the abrupt vertical beast of a few bestsellers. But the area of the tail was as big as the head. With that insight, the aggregators had great incentive to encourage audiences to click on the obscure items. They invented recommendation engines and other algorithms to channel attention to the rare creations in the long tail. Even web search companies like Google, Bing, Baidu found it in their interest to reward searchers with the obscure because they could sell ads in the long tail as well. The result was that the most obscure became less obscure. If you lived in any of the 2 million small towns on Earth, you might be the only one in your town to crave death. Oh, this is funny. If you lived in any of the 2 million small towns on Earth, you might be the only one in your town to crave death metal music or get turned on by whispering or want a left-handed fishing reel. Before the internet, you'd never be able to satisfy that desire. You'd be alone in your fascination. But now I've been meaning to read this for a while, but so often on this podcast, you've heard me say it. The market is so much bigger than you realize. This is why I love bottom of funnel search engine optimization, because you literally, what Kevin Kelly is saying, the market is bigger than most people realize. And why I love bottom of funnel search engine optimization is because people are always searching for things that they want. They don't know brands that will give it to them. And with bottom of funnel search engine optimization, you target those people from anywhere in the world. People anywhere in the world, they know what they want. They don't know the brand that's going to give it to them. They search it on Google and then they come across your brand. And that's why I think that channel, bottom of funnel search engine optimization, purchase intent, search engine optimization is incredible, 1,000 true fans is great. It's simple, it's achievable, it's great. But F that. How about 1 million true fans? How about 1 million true fans? Because that's achievable too. Satisfaction is only one click away. Whatever your interests as a creator are, your 1,000 true fans are one click from you. As far as I can tell, there is nothing, no product, no idea, no desire without a fan base on the internet. That's what I just said. Everything made or thought of can interest at least one person in a million. It's a low bar. Yet, if even also a million, even if a million seems high, remember, spin can make a lot more people interested in something than you think. Spin can make, I talked about this on yesterday's episode, spin can make people a lot more interested in something than you think. Yet, even if only 1 out of a million people were interested, that's potentially 7,000 people on the planet. That means that any 1 in a million appeal can find 1,000 true fans. The trick is to practically find those fans, or more accurately, to have them find you. Now, here's the thing. The big corporations, the intermediates, the commercial producers are all under-equipped and ill-suited to connect with these 1,000 true fans. They are institutionally unable to find and deliver niche audiences and consumers. I saw that firsthand when I was doing SEO for blue chip companies. They just wanted to do the play it safe things. They didn't even do the purchase intent SEO. They just want to do the play it safe, go to a lot of people, and don't niche down. This is exactly what Kevin Kelly is saying. That means the long tail is wide open to you, the creator. You'll have your 1 in a million true fans to yourself, and the tools for connecting keep getting better, including the recent innovations in social media. It has never been easier to gather 1,000 true fans around a creator, and never easier to keep them near. One of the many new innovations serving the true fan creator is crowdfunding. Having your fans finance your next product for them is genius. Win-win all around. There are about 2,000 different crowdfunding platforms worldwide, many of them specializing in specific fields, raising money for science experiments, for bands, for documentaries. Each has its own requirements and different funding model, in addition to specialized interests. Some platforms require all or nothing funding goals. Others permit partial funding. Some raise money for completed projects. Some, like Patreon, fund ongoing projects. Patreon supporters might fund a monthly magazine or a video series or an artist's salary. The most famous and largest crowdfunder is Kickstarter, which has raised $2.5 billion for more than 100,000 projects. The average number of supporters for a successful Kickstarter project is 241 funders, far less than 1,000. That means if you have 1,000 true fans, you can do a crowdfunding campaign, because by definition, a true fan will become a Kickstarter funder. Although success of your campaign is dependent on what you ask of your fans. 3 more paragraphs left. The truth is that cultivating 1,000 true fans is time-consuming, sometimes nerve-wracking, and not for everyone. Done well, and why not do it well, it can become another full-time job. At best, it will be a consuming and challenging part-time task that requires ongoing skills. There are many creators who don't want to deal with fans, and honestly should not. They should just paint, or sew, or make music, or hire someone else to deal with their superfans. If that is you, and you add someone to deal with fans, a helper will skew your formula, increasing... Oh, this is interesting. If that is you, and you add someone to deal with fans, a helper will skew your formula, increasing the number of fans you need. But that might be the best mix. If you go that far, then why not subcontract out dealing with fans to the middle people, the labels and studios and publishers and retailers? If they work for you, fine, but remember, in most cases, they would be even worse at this than you would. The mathematics of 1,000 true fans is not a binary choice. You don't have to go this route to the exclusion of another. Many creators, including myself, will use direct relations with superfans in addition to mainstream intermediaries. I have been published by several big-time New York publishers. I have self-published, and I have used Kickstarter to publish to my true fans. I chose each format depending on the content and my aim, but in every case, cultivating my true fans enriches the route I choose. The takeaway: 1,000 true fans is an alternative path to success other than stardom. Instead of trying to reach the narrow and unlikely peaks of platinum bestseller hits, blockbusters, and celebrity status, you can aim for direct connection with 1,000 true fans. On your way, no matter how many fans you actually succeed in gaining, you'll be surrounded not by faddish infatuation, but by genuine and true appreciation. It's a much saner destiny to hope for, and you are much more likely to actually arrive there. That was 1,000 True Fans by Kevin Kelly. And I think you can see why this essay is beloved with entrepreneurs and creators and artists. It's really good. It articulates so much of what I have talked about on this show over the last 100 episodes. It's really amazing. And there's so many different channels to find those 1,000 true fans. Search engine optimization, for me, that's a very easy one because it's bottom of funnel, literally targets those people. You just need to know how to even like find the people. You need to know how to identify the keywords, the things that these people put into Google when they are looking for you. But once you figure that out, the rest of it is actually pretty simple. I like TikTok as well because TikTok tries for you. The TikTok algorithm tries for you to find your 1,000 true fans. And that's why I talk about TikTok a lot. It's a really good essay. I have been meaning to read this since, I believe, 2020. And it was summer in Kiev. And I was listening to an audiobook of Tools of Titans by Tim Ferriss, which was mentioned in the introduction of 1,000 True Fans, because Tools of Titans, you should read 1,000 True Fans. And I remember that moment. I was on a train going across the Dnieper River, which divides Kiev in Ukraine in half. And I was going to the forest to go for a walk. I lived in the center of Kiev, but it was amazing. It was magical because I could literally walk out of my apartment. There was a central train station on my corner, 15 seconds from my door. I would go down into that train station. It was very deep underground, so it'd take me a minute to get underground. Get into the train, ride it 4 stops. I still remember. I would ride that 4 stops. I would go over this bridge, and then I'd be out in the forest. And this would literally be from my door to the forest in 15 or 20 minutes. And I would go, when it was warm, I would go on walks in this forest so often. I know I'd think about business. I would think about marketing strategy. I would listen to audiobooks. And one of those audiobooks was Tools of Titans. And when I heard the concept of 1,000 True Fans, I don't remember if I was familiar with it already or not. But I said to myself, I got to read this. And then one thing led to another, and another thing led to another, and I never got around to reading it. And now I get to read it. And I get to read it to you on this podcast. And I'm so grateful for that. And it really is a good essay. I know you're going to hate me for saying it. You just have to be consistent, and you get those 1,000 true fans, one fan at a time. But here's the crazy thing. As you get more, then they come faster. Then they come faster and faster and faster and faster. It is a mistake to think that this is linear. I think Kevin Kelly said, what did he say about? Yeah, Kevin Kelly said it's you need a linear amount in terms of like how big your team is, but he did not say you grow in a linear way. And I have seen that myself. You do not grow in a linear way. It's the same follower concept. When I made a TikTok about this, it has 500,000 views. And it's me narrating a very popular video on the internet, which I talked about on this podcast already, where one guy is dancing in a field. It's a concert. No one else is dancing. This one crazy guy is dancing alone. He's joined by another guy. Then they're dancing by themselves for a long time. One more person joins, and that third person sets him off. And then everyone runs at them and starts to dance, and it makes the whole field erupt in a crazy dance festival concert. It's not a linear increase, but it could be hard at first to find those 1,000 true fans or to find 100 true fans. But as you chip away at it and as you get there, it becomes so much easier and it becomes so much faster. I love this. This is a great essay. I hope it brings value. I hope you enjoyed hearing it too. 1,000 True Fans by Kevin Kelly. This is episode 102 of The Edward Show. Oh, you know what? So I recorded a podcast. Number 100 was about me doing this copywriting course by Sam Parr. He is a co-host of My First Million, which is a very popular business podcast. I love that podcast. And he founded The Hustle, sold it for tens of millions of dollars. Now he has this social club for entrepreneurs called Hampton. Anyway, so he's never listened to my podcast before. And I made an episode, number 100, about his copywriting course. And I did something very funny. I titled that episode in such a way that it sounds like I'm going to be criticizing the course, because then I knew that I would have a much higher chance of him clicking and listening. And so I titled that episode, My Experience Halfway Through Sam Parr's Copy That Course. And you don't know, by the title, you don't know if it's going to be positive or negative. My experience halfway through Sam Parr's Copy That Course. And then I tweeted at him. All I said is, I'm going to read the exact tweet. It's pretty funny. I said, shared my experience here, period. Then I dropped the link to the podcast on Spotify, which shows with the preview with the title that I just read. and you don't know if that's going to be positive or negative. In fact, and this was seriously intentional. It sounds like it's going to be negative. It sounds like it's going to be negative because I knew that would create higher curiosity and make him more likely to listen to it. And then he did. He listened to it and he sent me a message because it was a totally positive podcast. And he sent me a message today saying that he listened and thanking me for it. It was cool. I'm a true fan. I converted. I'm a true fan of Sam Parr. 1,000 true fans. Except, he has many more than 1,000 at this point. The more you go at it, the more you get. All right. Thank you so much for listening. I will talk to all of you again tomorrow. Bye now.